There are two kind of gaming experiences that I love. And for a long time, I thought they were mutually exclusive. The first one is the handheld, the freedom of it, your entire gaming world in your hands, wherever you are, on a train, on a sofa, in a hotel. Nobody can take that away from you. And the second is the console experience. Proper screen in front of you, controller in your hands, completely immersed, that feeling of sitting down and disappearing into a game. The problem, one lives in your living room, the other fits in your pocket, and until now, you usually had to choose. And that's the gap that the Arzopa Z3FC closes. What is that? Well, it's a proper screen, 2.5K resolution, 180Hz, 16-inch, super light, fits in your bag. Plug in your handheld, grab a controller, and suddenly you don't have to choose anymore. Before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Arzopa, who sent me the Z3FC to test. When they reached out, I wasn't convinced that I could do anything with a portable monitor, because I've already got multiple screens, I've got a desk setup, a big TV, and if you're anything like me, you've probably looked at portable monitors before and thought, yeah, that's cool, but what would I actually use it for? That's exactly where I was, and then something happened that I didn't expect. Because I stopped thinking of it as a monitor and started using it as part of how I game. So what's the Z3FC? It's a 16.1-inch portable monitor with a 2.5K resolution, 180Hz refresh rate, 170% sRGB color coverage. It's just 9.3mm thin and it weighs 780 grams, pretty much nothing. It's got a premium all-metal build and works with pretty much everything. Steam Deck, MSI Claw, Switch 2, laptops, even phones. If it has a USB-C or HDMI output, chances are this thing will work with it. Setting it up takes literally about 30 seconds. You take it out of the sleeve, you unfold the stand, plug in the cable, and you're done. If your device supports video and power over USB-C, a single full-function USB cable handles everything. And if not, you use HDMI for video and a separate USB-C cable for power. Either way, the display lights up pretty much instantly, and that's something that I really appreciate because you haven't got a complicated setup, you don't need to mess around, you just plug in and start playing. The funny thing is that for me, handheld gaming never really had a performance problem because modern handhelds are fairly capable and you can choose what games to play on. The real limitation has always been immersion. Because no matter how powerful our devices are, we're still looking at a relatively small screen. And that's where the Z3FC started to click for me. Because it gives me something that handheld gaming normally asks me to sacrifice, and that's a bigger experience without giving up the freedom. And I've got screens in the house, I've got a 65-inch TV in the other room, but honestly I don't feel like firing that up, and half of the time somebody else is actually using it, watching mukbangs while feeding the little one. So instead, I'll plug in the Steam Deck, the Switch 2, into the Z3FC, I'm going to grab a controller, and suddenly it feels like I'm sitting down with a console without needing the living room, without needing the TV. It's just me, the game, and genuinely a great screen, because the screen itself is impressive. It's got 2.5K resolution, which is very sharp. Colors look fantastic, there's different color profiles, and if you're playing something fast-paced, the 180Hz refresh rate is going to make everything feel very fluid, especially if you're coming from a standard 60Hz display. And what surprised me the most wasn't using it at home, it was using it with other people. Handheld gaming usually is a solo experience. This changed that, because we had a barbecue recently, plugged in the Steam Deck and the Switch 2 into the Z3FC, handed out a couple of controllers, and suddenly it felt less like a handheld and more like a proper gaming setup. So we had people around, everybody wanted to turn, you know the situation, and that's something you just don't get from a 7-inch screen. And then there's the quieter moments, like a warm evening, football game, the balcony, no desk, no TV, no dedicated gaming room, just sitting in my comfortable chair, and I've got a setup that feels more immersive than a handheld without losing what makes handheld gaming special. Honestly, that's become one of my favourite ways to use it. And with the World Cup coming up, I've also spent plenty of evening watching matches on it, late at night, low volume, not disturbing anyone. just enjoying the game. The moment I realised I genuinely liked this thing was when I stopped planning around screens though. Hotels, trains, family visits, work trips. Normally, we're at the mercy of whatever display happens to be available, and sometimes that's great, sometimes it's plainly awful. With the Z3FC in my bag, I already know exactly what experience I'm getting, and that's surprisingly liberating because I travel quite a bit. Being able to pull this out in a hotel room, connect whatever I want to it, and instantly have a proper setup is incredibly convenient because the monitor slides into my backpack super easily because it's thin, it's lightweight, because it works with so many different devices. I never really have to think about compatibility because it just works. And here's the thing, this screen doesn't really care what I connect to it, because I've used it with pretty much anything, handheld's laptop, even connected a camera to it for filming. It works brilliantly as a little field monitor, and I've also used it as a second monitor while editing or answering emails. You can use it in landscape and portrait, you can game, you can work, you can use it as an entertainment device. It adapts to whatever you need it to be, which is probably why I've ended up using it far more than I expected. But maybe the strongest compliment I can give it is that when I first unpacked it, I thought it would live in a bag, and then instead it ended up staying on my desk as my third monitor, and it just stopped being something that I tested, started becoming something that I really like and I actually use, whether it's document or scripts or browsing or playing. And that's usually the point where I know that a piece of tech has earned its place, when I stop thinking about it and just start using it. So what's the verdict? Well, I think I misunderstood what this product was, because I assumed it was just a portable monitor, but what it really became is a way for me to bring a bigger gaming experience with me wherever I am. The reason I love handheld gaming is freedom. The reason I love console gaming is immersion, and I always thought the two are mutually exclusive. The Z3FC is the first product that I've used that genuinely makes that trade-off feel smaller, and it's a very handy, a very convenient product. If you want to check it out for yourself, I put a link down below in the description, along with any discounts that Arzopa is currently running. Go check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.